Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for day 2 of E3 for Polygon Live. I am Griffin McElroy, Senior Editorial Producer. Joining me today to talk about Bungie is Sumit Sarkar from Polygon. Hi, Sumit.
Hello. How's it going?
Oh, man, really good. But let's not talk about us. Let's talk about Destiny. Joining us is Eric from Destiny, Eric Osborne. How are you doing today?
Doing awesome. We should make it all about Destiny.
Let's talk about Destiny instead of ourselves, because you very recently opened up the floodgates, as it were, to the press for the Friends and Family Alpha.
Yep.
Which very, very soon, next week or this week?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Go live tomorrow. Man. Yeah, go to greatnesswaits.com/Destiny, and you can sign up there.
If you have a PlayStation 4, right?
Yep,
PlayStation 4. Very soon, everybody, I guess, will be friends and family, assuming you have a PlayStation 4, which, like, everyone does at this point.
Yeah, it was really important for us to build a ramp as we started seeing people get really excited about our beta. Those numbers got bigger and bigger, and so the team wanted to make sure we were, working against that scale. So starting with an alpha on PlayStation 4 made a whole lot of sense, and it actually has been working wonders for us here at the show, because I get to stop talking about the game and start showing people the game and let them play and experience it for them themselves, and getting to understand exactly what it's all about.
You don't have to say, like, we're going to talk about the game, because, like, tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. We have some footage of a competitive match of the game that we are going to show everybody.
Yep.
This is something, I don't know, I feel like the game has been sort of an unknown quantity to me. I know you guys have done videos and screenshots and talked at length about the game.
Yep.
But it's such a huge production, and it's been in the works for quite some time. And whenever you have a game like that like I haven't had a chance to play, I get kind of nervous about oh no, are they hiding it? And then when it came out, it's actually very, very good. We have a lot of other videos that I captured from the alpha on Polygon now, if this isn't enough for your taste. But what are we looking at here? This is the Crucible.
This is our Crucible competitive multiplayer. It's run by a champion of the city called Shax, so it's connected to the story. Shax. So it's connected to the story. If you go
you just got me almost I was about to give you Game of the Year
O'Neal.
2014 guarantee.
Well, if you listen, you might be able to pick up the voice. We're not doing a lot of casting announcements beyond Bill Nye and Peter Dinklage, but if you listen, you might be able to pick out some other voices back at the tower.
Okay.
Shax is one of them, so he's giving you a rundown while you're in Control. Control is sort of a blended, objective deathmatch mode. You want to, of course, get your kill death up, work as a team to take out the opposing players, but you also want to control these zones, because they're giving you point multipliers. So you get a +50 for having one, all the way up to a +200 for holding all 3 simultaneously. So keeps people cycling around the map, keeps people using their supers, keeps people keeps their head on a swivel. Which
is talk a bit. I think we've all heard a lot about the sort of hybrid MMO shooter structure that Destiny's bringing to the table, but only in the PvE context. One of the things I thought was really interesting is you guys are doing a very hardcore MMO idea of playing PvP gives you rewards that you otherwise don't get in the player versus environment portion of the game. You get a form of currency in the Crucible.
Yep. So there's currencies in every mode. So of course there's your experience that contributes to your level and contributes to all your gear, and you can tweak your gear. You can upload, use your skill trees to sort of tune and tweak to play how you want to play. But yeah, in the Crucible, you're actually getting Crucible currency that you spend with Shax back at the tower, and he'll unlock better gear for you. He'll unlock better rifles, better weapons. And so you can see right now we've got the alpha capped at level 8, but you can see some really high level stuff in there, things that we think players are really going to want to get after. Aside from Shax, we also have factions of the city who are watching Guardians, checking out what you're doing in the Crucible. If you're performing well, they'll also give you reputation that you can use to buy special New Monarchy, Future War Cult gear, Dead Orbit gear, and that stuff all has really fun gameplay nuance. So it was really important for us to build a really competitive skill-based multiplayer, so we're taking level advantages and flattening them. So if you're level 10 and you play level 5, it's still all about your skill.
The same goes for the gear too, right?
It's all of it's fine now. So the gear, you keep your nuance though. So if you've got this really great fusion rifle and you love the rate of fire and you love the way it feels in your hand, you can keep that and keep all the things you've unlocked. Same with your abilities. If you've got a special grenade you like, a special movement mode that it really appeals to you, you can keep all that stuff and take that with you against other players. But it was really important for us to have this feel like something rooted in what we do and what we love at Bungie. So we think fans of Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3 are going to absolutely love this multiplayer. There's vehicles on this map. You've got your own personal Sparrow you can conjure at any time. There's a Pike. There's an Interceptor. You've got a turret over here at B you can see up there. There's an example of the Pike See if you can take him out with a super here.
Here it is.
Nope,
Here's
too
that.
late.
Oh no, what a waste.
So yeah, supers have that nice risk reward. You've got that moment where you're completely vulnerable. If you waste it, as this guy's doing here,
done.
no
Oh, what
kills
a
for
shame.
you. If you would have
Trust everybody watching at home. Trust me, that's a really cool super
is a really
ability
cool super.
that this person just
you just saw him
squandered.
pick up an orb of light. So his teammate actually used a super effectively. So he generates that orb of light, which is a nice works both in competitive and cooperative experiences. It boosts your own super meter. So as your
Sort of,
team,
it manages the pace of the game almost because you want to stick by other players who are about to use their super abilities so that you can use yours in return and create almost like a cycle of power,
cycle of
passing
fun,
orbs around.
Yeah, and it really promotes teamwork. It really rewards people for playing together and paying attention to what's going on. So if you want to be isolated and just play kill death from the back of the map, you can do pretty well. But if you want to work as a team and communicate, you're going to do even better.
And at the same time, you know, the character that you have here it sort of carries over throughout the game. You know,
Yep.
the gear and everything, right? Like
Absolutely.
you were taking your character.
Yep. These ships are all custom. You can see different looks at ships for players.
That's
the
just an
class they've
aesthetic
chosen.
effect, right?
Yeah, it's an aesthetic effect, but it's a nice,
rad one.
It's a nice
pretty
nice
sweet one.
signature for players. We find people are really digging that kind of stuff. The same with your Sparrow. You can actually upgrade the visuals on your Sparrow. The Sparrows actually can do some acceleration and boost adjustments that you can make as well. You can see we've got a really cool cinematic intro showing off your gear. We can see your sick armor. If you're the highest level guy, you get to carry the flag into battle. So there's a nice little ego boost there at the beginning. There's an example of ammo. So he just picked up some secondary ammo, which is scattered around the map. You'll hear the announcer call out heavies, and that's a good way for us to promote map movement.
And an interesting way to promote balance because you use the same loadout for the weapons and everything that you have found in the player versus environment portion of the game, and you bring it into this. So to keep players from, I guess, just stocking up on the biggest, baddest stuff.
Coming in with
and
10 rocket launcher rounds,
right,
just ruling the day. They've got to fight over it. Just
the
like,
ammo is limited, and so you have to actually find your special weapon ammo on the map. You have to find your
and you know when heavy
weapon.
drops, everybody knows when it drops. Everybody knows where it is, and so we have these nice moments where, you know, you'll get 2 or 3 players fighting over the heavy ammo. If you go into that room with a heavy ammo crate, you better be ready to throw down because there's probably gonna be somebody nearby waiting to prey on you.
It's very classic, like everybody race to the rocket launcher. Everybody get.
Yeah, we definitely wanted to have that classic multiplayer feel. That, like I said, that really intense skill-based multiplayer that promotes teamwork, map knowledge, map routes. You can make some big mistakes and you pay for it. Like wins and losses matter in our competitive multiplayer, and that was really important for us. But it's also really important that you get to bring your guy in. It's your gear. It's the things you've earned. It's the weapons you love. And the really cool thing for me is I'll play a totally different weapon and skill set on First Light on the moon than I will on Rusted Land. So I'll go much more close quarters for this map because it's more about infantry play and it's more about these routes that you're running and getting a high ground or getting a vantage point.
So in the alpha that everybody's going to have, or PlayStation 4 owners are going to have access to tomorrow, there is one multiplayer mode, which you're seeing right now, called Control.
Yep.
The territory control pseudo deathmatch mode. It's a little bit of both ideas in one.
Yep.
And 2 maps. How much can we expect from the final release of Destiny?
So the alpha, you're going to walk into actually character creation, pick your character class, investment up to level 8. You can play a story chapter.
Sorry, yeah, I meant for the PvP portion. There's a lot.
Yeah, there's
of
a lot more.
PvE
Yeah,
stuff
you
for
can play a
alpha.
strike on multiple difficulty modes. That's a 3-player cooperative. We'll matchmake you, or we'll let you go in there with your friends. You can explore all of Cosmodrome. It's a massive space filled with treasure and hidden enemies. I don't know if you saw any of the ambient. There's a public event, you know, that kicks off in the different bubbles. There's also
The tower, right? The tower's in there.
the tower's in there as well. Yep, that's where you return to check out new gear, new weapons, all that stuff. We're not talking about how we're extending that on the beta, but it's orders of magnitude bigger. Like our alpha is building us up to a really great beta and launch on September 9th. So it's a huge hit of content. We've had a lot of discussions at the office about like, man, this is a lot. Our alpha is bigger than any other beta we've ever built. We've done some pretty big betas.
Sure,
in the past
yeah, no,
with Reach. We had 3 million people in our Reach beta, and we're seeing a lot of excitement for our beta, and we really wanted to get it out there and show players what we're doing.
In terms of the multiplayer, though, can we expect familiar sort of modes from the stuff that you guys have
Oh,
done?
absolutely. So we're only showing off the 1 mode control, and we'll have some reveals later down the road. So we're going to make a big deal. Obviously, more maps, more modes. This is a really limited look at the armor and weapons in the game. This is just scratching the surface.
And is it always 6v6 for all the PvP stuff? Or?
No, we're going to do some different looks at team, but we're not talking about that as well. But we've got different modes that'll encourage players to play in some significantly different ways.
Here we go.
And
Make
we'll
it count this time.
Oh, that's a teammate. Oh. No.
Come on. What is with this person in there?
Is this your B-roll or is this ours?
No, it's not. I would never do this. Guys, trust me, it's really
Here we
cool
go,
when
he's
someone
got
kills
that.
someone with that. Oh, well, maybe one day.
You can do it for yourself. It's better when you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah. The Titan, so there's 3 different classes in the game. Right now we're seeing the Hunter, who is the more fast-paced. It has a really quick double jump and a knife throw that when you use it on corpses doesn't do a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, so the Hunter's more agile. Is actually faster at base than the other 2 classes.
Oh, so it's the actual like locomotion is faster. With the
Yep.
Hunter.
He's got a double jump. Later on, you can unlock things like triple jump. We've got a whole variety of movement modes on every class. The Titan is more armored, so he has more base health. He can take more damage, so that'll encourage people to get in closer with the shotguns and the Fist of Havoc and the sort of buffs that they get access to. And then the Warlock shields generate faster. So if you're more of a cat and mouse player and you like to lure people in, sneak around corners, use cover to fight, that's the class you want to go. And of course, if you want to fly into the air and throw a Nova Bomb and disintegrate somebody, that's a pretty good move as well.
Do you have a preference?
I'm Warlock all the way.
Yeah.
The visuals are so sick. The trench coat and the cool helmet, and plus the Nova Bomb is my thing. Man.
The Titan
there's a good Nova Bomb right there.
The Titan does a Yoshi-esque butt stomp that kills everything in the area. That I believe gets stronger the higher up that you are when you use it, or did I just imagine that?
No, you can. It's a one-hit kill if you get them right in the blast radius, but you can
right in the butt zone.
In the butt zone, yeah, and you can tweak it. So we're showing off a video today that has a lunging maneuver, so you can have one that goes directly down. It's a little bit more damaging, or you can choose one that'll sort of spear at your enemies. It's a little less damage, and you have to be a little bit more skillful to use it and hit it. It's easier to miss, but if you get them, it's super satisfying to watch your enemies just sort of burn away as you crush them at B. Here's a look at different armors here. These are some more exotic looks.
Oh, he's got the super this time.
This is 100.
I've given up hope in this person's capacity for using their super ability. So talking about the super ability is an interesting idea because the way that you guys have blended the things you're really good at with Halo, like all of this, it has that same sort of short form loop of action that is like digestible and like so satisfying every single time, and then it happens dozens and dozens and dozens of times in any one like play session.
Yeah.
But to layer on like character custom, please. Yes.
There you go.
To layer on like
more
character customization and unlocks. This person's the worst. Whoever filmed this should be fired from. No.
What's the name? Let's find out who it is.
It's Glimmer E316.
These are people from. The
these are real people.
Real people from the Alpha show floor.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
yeah. This is our
I guess
the
it's
booth.
excusable.
I feel a little worse now.
Yeah. The way that you blend sort of MMO ideology on top of that with like choosing which, like for instance, a lot of powers are represented by the different grenades that you have equipped, and then you can choose which grenade type that you want.
Absolutely.
The idea of having a super meter that fills up as you do dope shit, and then you can drop it in one big bomb. That seems really cool, but it also seems really hard to balance for PvP. Like the idea that at any time somebody can pull out this giant golden one-hit kill gun.
Well, I mean, the way it's balanced is everybody gets one. And so you're on a meter. If you're doing well, you'll get a couple more, but it's not going to be like somebody's going to get 10 in one match. And it's a moment where you kind of go Death Blossom. And so you're always in the back of your head when you're playing, you know somebody can have this thing at any moment. And they all have a tell if you watch them. There's a wind-up for the Titan.
Yeah.
There's a big wind-up for the Hunter. And it's actually one of the most satisfying things in the game, besides the dancing, is to see somebody lunge at you as a Titan about ready to rip the Fist of Havoc and just hitting a headshot and stopping them dead in their tracks. It's so fun to do.
I mean, not for the Titan.
Yeah, well,
it's not especially fun.
It's not especially fun. But I was watching, like we had Ninja doing streams last night on Twitch TV, and just seeing him wreck people. Skill matters. The supers are fun. They're gonna make you feel awesome and powerful, but you still have to use them tactically. You still have to know what you're doing. If you're out of position when you try to use that Fist of Havoc, it's not gonna be too effective. We just saw a guy miss a whole bunch of shots with this golden gun. So if you're not putting those shots on your target, or if you're not using it in the right time, you're gonna waste it.
I think the most surprising thing for me, and I guess I don't know why it was so surprising for me. It feels very Halo-y in terms of the mechanics and just like Halo has a feel that no other shooter has really replicated before, and that feeling is still so very entwined with how Destiny functions. Is that something
like the controls themselves?
Yeah, is that something you guys wanted to like make sure that people knew about, or is it something you wanted to, like, that comparison that you wanted to avoid, or?
We're not trying to avoid it at all. Like, we know what we like. We know what we like to make. Our guys are really proud of the work we've done. We're not afraid of our own shadow. So we absolutely wanted our multiplayer to feel like it was rooted in the stuff that we do. I mean, our fans want us to do great competitive skill-based multiplayer, and that's what we like to play at the office. So, you know, I think maybe there's an expectation that we're going to do something just fundamentally different, but you know, from what we've done in the past. But for us, this is where it's at. This great skill-based multiplayer where, like I said, wins and losses matter. We want to get people's hearts pumping. We want them to care about the matches. When they win, we want to feel glorious, like they earned it, like it was worthy. And when they lose, we want them to feel like, oh man, I got to go out there and get a different gun, or I've got to go out there and buckle down and play better. It just adds a tension, and it makes it feel meaningful.
Yeah.
You know?
Can we expect any kind of, I think one thing that people who play PvP and MMOs, I'm not one of these people, so I'm speaking from secondhand experience here, but can you expect a ranking ladder system that people can hope to climb up?
So we have a leveling system. We've got a whole bunch of stats on Bungie.net, and our alpha site is actually live right now. Anybody who gets in the alpha can participate and see what we're doing over there. There is reputation specifically for the Crucible that you're earning. So when you're doing well, you're earning more points for that, and that'll actually show up on your armor directly. So if somebody's been playing the Crucible for a year and they're amazing at it, they're going to have the armor set to show for it, right? You're going to see their armor and be like, oh man. And even if you see them out in the world, one of the really cool things, and one of the things that we do borrow from, you know, things like RPGs and MMOs and things where our game is radically different and innovative, is when you're running around in the Crossroads space, you'll see that guy there with his cool PvP gear, and you'll know exactly what kind of player he is, right? He's broadcasting to you like, I want to go play the Crucible, right?
Now, with the other stuff in the alpha, you know, you said you've got the strike, and then you've got the sort of the story stuff. The strike, how does that work? You said it's 3 players and co-op missions, and you're taking that sort of a larger enemy, right?
Yeah, so strikes are sort of our arcade fun, right? It's you and 3 of your friends. You go into an enemy stronghold. You fight through waves of enemies. When you're in private bubbles, it's a crafted experience. It's unique to that strike. You will go through public spaces that you see in the world, and you'll see other players in there as well, so you can get public events in there. You can get cool ambient encounters. But once you push into the private areas, they're custom for those strikes. You won't see them anywhere else, and they all lead to these epic boss battles. The one we have that we're showing off in alpha is Sepix Prime, who's this giant elite servitor who's siphoning the souls of the fallen around him, and you've got to go through this intense fight. And it's actually pretty difficult on our normal mode, but if you want to ratchet it up to the highest difficulty that we have available in alpha, you can do that as well. And good luck if you try that. It's pretty
I couldn't, man. I could barely do it on normal difficulty.
It's pretty rough. Yeah, we're not afraid to challenge. You know, it's okay if players lose from time to time. It gives them a reason to get better. It's an incentive to go out there and earn some better gear and keep playing.
Are you worried about players? I mean, loot is such a huge factor in this game. It's doled out for quest rewards and for beating big bosses, and you know you can find it on the map basically everywhere. Are you worried about players getting into like the grinding loop of like, oh, I just gotta keep playing until I get that flaming helmet? Because that seems so like the antithesis of what the types of games you guys have made represent.
Yeah, I mean, we all have kids, we have families, we work really hard at Bungie, so we want to make a game that you can play and have fun in like 30-minute sessions. We don't want this to feel like a job for players. Everything that you do, if you just wanted to play, you know, strikes over and over again, you're going to get rewarded for doing that. You're going to feel good. You're going to get better gear. You're going to have a blast. If you just want to do the Crucible, you can do that as well. We think a lot of people are going to be more omnivorous in our game because there's a lot of reasons to go out there, and we saw that with Halo as well. We just weren't able to really ever build that big spectrum of content. We were focused on the competitive multiplayer. But we are cognizant of the fact, like one of the pillars of the game from the design is that we want to be compatible with real life. So we're not driven to try to get somebody to invest 80 hours of their week. You shouldn't have to take vacation and set up all your, you know, Mountain Dew and poop socks and all that stuff. Like, we're not interested in poop socks. And so like, you know, I have a wife and kid, and I have a job, and I want to keep it. So I want to be able to play on a Friday night with my friends and get rewarded and come back every Friday night and have a great experience. So we're absolutely building that. But if you are a guy who can put in 4 days a week and that's what you want to do and that's healthy for you, you're gonna be able to experience more of the game's content faster, right? You'll get through some of that stuff. You'll see maybe you're the guy that wants to go and crack the raid, and you're really getting into the intense activities, and you know you've got a clan or something like that you're playing with.
You guys were making Halo games sort of when the idea of online interconnected gaming started to become more feasible and mainstream, and especially to consoles. Is this the game that you guys have been wanting to make, like, since that it started to unfold?
If you talk to Jason Jones, he's been making connected games back when you needed a little card that told you how to use a modem, right? Like, you can go back to Marathon and Myth. I mean, we had rich communities way back then in the 90s. So this isn't new for the team to build connected experiences.
But something like this wouldn't have been possible on a card telling you how to connect.
No, definitely not. So yeah, there was a number of projects that Jason was working on that never saw light of day because the tech wasn't there and he wasn't able to pull off his vision. And because Halo was such an all-consuming thing, so once we came out of that vortex, it was sort of like, okay, what do we want to do next? Where do we take the shooter? And so Destiny is our answer. We want to build a great action game that you see. It's got great competitive multiplayer. It's got great modes for cooperative play. We want it to be rich. We want the world to feel alive because it's filled with other players. I mean, there's no better way to make a game feel dynamic than to throw a bunch of people at it and see what kind of crazy stuff they do, right?
Sure.
Whether they're playing out in the world, exploring and leading you on to adventure, fighting alongside you, or dancing to turn down for what in the tower. It just adds such a cool flavor to the mix, and something you don't expect from a shooter to see dancing emotes and social spaces in third person and vendors that you can buy better gear and show off the kind of player you want to be, or kind of find the things that tell other people what kind of player you are. I think that's all really new and interesting.
You should make it explicitly clear that the turn down for what dance party you referenced was probably another player playing it through their headset, and not that you guys have
We have
licensed.
not licensed
yet.
We haven't announced our soundtrack yet. So
I mean, it's a Summer Jam. It's the Summer Jam of 2014.
Summer Jam, yeah.
Thank you all very much for watching, and thank you, Eric, for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
We will be back later this week with more videos, more previews, more everything, basically, from E3 2014. If you have a PlayStation 4, keep an eye out for the Destiny Alpha tomorrow. What's that website? One more time.
Greatnessawaits.com/Destiny.
And you will find out more then.
And then a beta in July, right?
Beta's on July 17th, yep. So it's pretty exciting because we're going to use that alpha to build our beta. That beta is going to build a launch on September 9th. So it's going to be quite the fun and interesting year for us.
Yeah. If you guys have a PlayStation 4, seriously check it out. I played a lot of it before we came here, and it is
awesome.
It is very, very cool. So thank you again for joining us. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon. Stay tuned, everybody. Bye.